Hi everyone, it's ARTime again with me. Today what we're going to do is we're going to make Chinese Lunar New Year ox cap that we can wear. So the first thing you're going to need is you're going to need A4 paper, scissors, glue, or staples, whichever one you have at home. You can even use tape if you want to. Colors, I'm just going to use wax twisty crayons because it's a lot easier to color with and makes it a lot faster. And something to make a circle with. Now you can use a bowl or something. Now the important thing about the bowl here is that it needs to be bigger than the size of your head. So this bowl is not exactly big enough, so I'm going to use a bucket which is the size of my head. So you want something that will fill up your head. So this one will fill up my head a little bit better than this one, so I'll use this one. Okay, so what we need this for is you're going to place your bowl or bucket onto your paper, and then you're going to trace around it. So I'm going to do that right now. So I'm going to get a color. I'm going to use a black color. You know what? I changed my mind. It's okay to change your mind. I'm going to use red to go around my bucket here. So let's see, maybe I can angle the camera down a little bit so you can see now. I'm going to trace around it. So just trace around your bucket or your bowl, your plate, whatever it is that you have. Okay, now I'm going to laugh at myself for this, if I did it right. Okay, so there's a little bit of gaps here. So let me turn the camera back up. So I have a little bit of gaps, but that's okay. I can just fill those gaps in with the crayon here, just like that. Okay, and then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tear, if your paper is on a sketchbook, tear it out of the sketchbook. And I'll put that away. And now we're going to cut this shape out so you have your circular shape. Don't throw any of the pieces of paper away because we can still use them. Sometimes you might need an extra sheet of paper for the additions to this cap, but it's okay to try to work with just one. If you have a small head, then one will probably be more than enough. So I'm cutting around my circle like this. Now I'm finished. Don't throw the leftover paper away because you will use it. We will use this again. So keep this to the side. I'm just going to put it to the side. Now I have my circle. Okay, what we're going to do with the circle is we're going to fold the circle. Okay, so fold it in half like this. Fold it in half. This is going to be the top part of your Chinese cap, okay? This is the top part. This is the Chinese cap. That's why it's good to get something to make the circle that's bigger than your head so that then it can kind of fit like this. So there's my Chinese cap right there. And all I'm going to do now, I'm going to take my Chinese cap, fold it, make sure it's folded in half properly. And I can use a black color as well, so I can use black or I can use red. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a line, just make like a rectangular line that goes around it. You can give it maybe a few centimeters, it's up to you. So here, so you can see it like this. I'm just going to make my line going this way, like the brim, the white part, the brim of a Chinese hat. Okay. So here's my white part, just like that. And what I can also do here is I can write my name on there, okay? So I'm just going to write my name. You can use it, you can write it smaller if you want. I'm just going to write Mr. M. And then I'm going to write, you can put the date here, you can put your class here. So I'm just going to write, for me, it's going to be art. Okay, that's it. Now if you wanted to put it in the middle, you can. It's up to you. It's okay. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take you're going to color it. You can color any color you want. You can decorate it. I'm going to make my cap red. And if I wanted to, I could put in maybe 2021. That's a good idea. You know what? I'm going to use another color here. I'm going to use the color yellow because it's kind of like, I like to use the color yellow to represent gold. So I'm going to write 2021 for the Chinese New Year. So I'm writing in there 2021. Okay. 2021. I think I might go around it a little bit because I'm using yellow. Yellow is a very light color. So I'm just putting 2021. You can draw any other drawings you want in there as well. Let's see, I'll use an orange to kind of outline the yellow. Kind of give it that gold look. You know, that shining gold. Chinese New Year. These are usually the colors we associate with Chinese New Year: gold, yellow, and red. So see, I just kind of did something like that. 2021. But you can do anything you want. You can draw anything you want there that you might feel is Chinese. If you can write in Chinese, maybe you can even write Chinese in there. But I'm going to go ahead and color this now. Get my red in there. You know what? I think I need a little bit of black to go around that. 2021, because I'm using so much warm color that it's kind of hiding. They're kind of blending into each other because they're all warm colors. Red, orange, yellow. They're warm colors. So I'm just going to use a little bit of black here to give it a kind of a border. Give it kind of an outline. Some contrast. Okay. Just like this. So there. So I decided to go with black just to make it a little bit more contrasting. So now I'll go back to coloring this in red. Okay. So this is going to be the Chinese part. This is your cap. Okay. When you color, try to color as solid as you can. It looks a lot neater when you do it more solidly. So that means don't have too many gaps of white in between. Try to keep it really nice and thick, depending on what color you want to use. I mean, you could have easily made a gold cap if you wanted to. I'm just using the traditional red Chinese cap during Chinese New Year. Usually people like to dress in red colors. I fold that out a little bit. It's creating this line from the other side. Okay. So just coloring it solid. Make it nice and neat. Okay. It only looks as good as how much effort you put into it. But this could lead into doing a lot of other things. You don't always have to make a Chinese cap. You could think about making other kind of caps. So take the idea and go crazy with it. Have fun with it. Okay, and it's done here. Okay, just going in between my letters here, just to make it nice and neat. Now, if I spent more time on it, but you know, just trying to make a really quick video for you guys to see, I could make it neater. Now, of course, you could use other mediums as well. You could use markers. Okay, you could use colored pencils. You could even paint it if you wanted to. I'm just using crayons here because it's a little bit more convenient for me. Okay, and not so messy. So there you go. There's my Chinese cap. So let me. Okay, so that will fit on my head like that. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to use the rest of the piece. So that's all you had to do. You could decorate it more if you wanted to. It's always good to put your name and your class on there. So now we're going to go back to the other pieces here. that we had. So I'm going to use one of these pieces to make the horn. So we need to make some ox horn. So what I'm going to do is the part where I cut it in half, I'm going to cut it in half some more. I'm going to keep one piece for later, and I'm going to use the other piece now. So here what you already have is you already have some nice circular piece, so a nice circular pattern. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw some horns in here. So what you need to do is find the center, find the middle. You can even fold the paper again, like this. When you fold it like this, you'll have a center part, a middle part here. And that's the part that you want, okay? So let's see. So what you have now is you have this middle part, and I'm going to draw this middle part out like this. I'll turn it over. So draw this middle part like this. And then I'm going to make so I drew my middle part, and now I'm going to go around it to make my horn. My horns, more than one. So there's one horn right there. There's one horn right there. Now I'm going to go to the other side and do the same thing. And if it looks different, it's okay. It's not that important that they have to be identical or exactly the same. And if they're different, it's okay. So there you go. I got two horns. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these horns out. So I'm going to start by cutting the middle here. Cut that middle. Now I'm going to cut one side out. Just follow my line. Okay. So there's one. And now I'm going to cut the other side here. Okay. And there's my second horn. And I still have this little bit of paper. I still can use this for later. I'll show you why. So I'm going to put that to the side. And now I have two horns. Okay. Hi. So look, two horns. I now look like a bull. Alright, so what I'm going to do here with this, I can ink this a little bit more. If you want to, you can use a little bit of yellow to highlight it. Or you could use some light blue. So I'm going to use a light blue here. Because sometimes you can use blue to make shadows for things like snow or ice. So I'm going to kind of just very lightly, just kind of outline the shape of the horn. So something like that, okay? I can do the same on the other side. Maybe the top as well, kind of to the tip. So it's up to you. You don't have to do this. I use light blue, but you can also use yellow. Yellow is a good color, or you can even use gray, which is very lightly on the black. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have to glue this inside here. Now, if you open this up, look, it's like a taco. The part that you did the color, this is where you're going to do is you're going to take a little bit of it here, and you're going to glue it in there like this. Now, you have two choices. You can glue it or you can staple it. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to glue it. I might change my mind because I can't even open my glue. There we go. So what you do is glue this side here on the inside, just a little bit, the flap here. So I'm going to glue it down. Glue it like that. And glue coming out. Okay. It's okay if you kind of get the glue everywhere because we're going to actually glue it all together later. So now I'm going to take this piece of horn, stick it in there, and just kind of hold it down. Press it down to there, into the paper. I usually say count to about 25 if you want to. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. And then it's done. Okay, now we're going to do the exact same thing with the other horn on the other side. So I'm going to flip it over here, and I'm going to glue a little bit here and then stick it on there like that. Okay. Again, you can always use staple or tape if you don't have glue. Okay, so I've glued it now. So I'm going to stick it in there, maybe about the same length, which is good. And there you go. Once it's in there, hold it and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So press it down. And then there you go. Your ox count. Okay, we're almost done, because now we need to be able to wear this, because you're not going to walk around holding it up like this. Kind of looks like a Chinese Viking. It's kind of cool. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use the other piece that I have left over. Now here I want to make a rectangle piece here, so I'm going to make a line here and then I'm going to cut it. So I'm going to take my pen, okay, just make a line there, like this, make a straight line, just like that, okay. And then now what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to go ahead and cut this out, okay, with my scissors, cut it out as I keep adjusting. Now, if you're wondering how I'm videoing this, I'm using the Surface Duo to video this. I like the ability to just place it on the table and use it and put it into like its little laptop mode or something like that. And so the camera's facing me and I can see the full screen. So now I cut that little piece out. You see, every little piece counts. So I've got this. Now what we're going to do is, this is actually the strap to go around your head. But this is not enough, especially for me, because I've got a big head. I'm going to fold this in half. And you should fold it in half too, because it shouldn't be enough for you. You need to fold it in half like this. Okay, so I fold it in half. The long way. So I heard somebody on YouTube call it the hot dog fold, which is kind of, I liked it. So there you go. Fold it in half. And then when I open it up, I have a line there. Now I'm going to cut down that line. Cut down this line. Okay. So now what we do is you have two strips. Okay. And what you're going to do is, unlike exactly the same that you did with the horns, you're going to put these two strips on the other side here. Okay. Just because this is going to, because I want this to be held in my head, when you glue it, you need to give it time to dry. But because now this part might have a little bit of tension because it's going to go around your head, I'm just going to use a staple this time. Okay, so I'm just going to do it a little bit differently than gluing it. So I'm going to staple it here, but you could glue as well. I'm just stapling. You don't need to staple it. You can also glue it, but make sure that it's very dry before you use it. So I go to the other side now and do the exact same thing. I'm going to staple it and staple it again. So now I've stapled it. So what I have now is I have my horns and I have the band that goes around my head. This time what we're going to do is we're going to put glue all over this, and then we're going to close this together like this. Okay, so we're going to take this, the circle, and then we're going to glue it together. So I'm going to take my glue this time. Of course I can staple as well, all the edges. So here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that all over. You know, go over your horn as well. Make sure you have enough glue. Okay. Okay, and then fold this up like this. Fold the other side on top of the other one where it's glued, and then press them together. Okay, so press them together so they're nice and glued together. Okay. So now what you have, it's now becomes one piece now that you've glued it. So what this is here now is this is going to be the band that goes around your head. Now the problem with, if you have a really big head, then what you might need to do is you can use another piece to make it longer so you can extend it. So I have a little bit of a bigger head. My head's still too big. So I'm going to just make a little small square here so that I can attach, create a little extension. So I just extend it. I just put them together here, and I just extend it a little bit more. And you can do the same thing with glue. Okay, and then what you do is you connect it to the other side. So you loop them together. Again, you can just use glue. I'm just going to use staple to save a little bit of time. so I don't have to wait for it to dry. When you're done, you have a little headband. You put it on, and there you go. You got your own Chinese Lunar New Year ox cap. Okay, so Gong Hei Fa Choi, and Happy Lunar New Year, everybody. So enjoy and have a really good Chinese New Year. Bye.